Changes over time. Who wears what, when? Traditional by minority clothing. This is what the young women in the 1950s wore in their daily life. Notice the complicated headdress. They braid their hair around the headdress. They wear a sleeveless tea-pow shirt with diagonal buttons, and they wear a long-sleeved white undershirt, and their clothing colors are all really bright and vibrant. This is what the young women wear in 2013. As you can see, they don't wear the traditional clothing anymore. This is what the older women wore in the 1950s in their daily life. Notice how their hair is covered with a piece of fabric and they no longer wear their fancy headdress. They also wear a tea-pow shirt with diagonal buttons, but the color is a lot darker than what the young women wear. Then they have a long-sleeved white undershirt. This is what the older women wear in 2013. As you can see, it is still similar to what they wore in the 1950s, but of course this doesn't apply to everyone. Some older women also wear modern clothing. What I observed and learned in Xizhou is that young people nowadays stop wearing traditional clothing, while some older women still do. The older women that don't wear the traditional clothing anymore is because of the inconvenience. Now most people only wear the traditional attire for special occasions or just for tourist attractions. To find young people who are wearing the traditional clothing is very rare. The streets of Xizhou are all covered in modern clothing shops. This is another reason why the younger generations don't wear their traditional clothing anymore. There aren't many shops selling those here. Parts of a headdress. The color depends on age and social standing. The four elements make up the headdress. The white fluff on top symbolizes snow, the curved shape of the headdress symbolizes the moon, the flower sequence on the bottom symbolizes flowers, and the long white wisps coming down from the side symbolizes wind.
不会怎么变化，就跟着西式的那些还是穿的。为什么他们要继承先辈的那个传统？白族服装了吗
Costume has been influenced by Western, by Han. Used to people dress just like everywhere, anywhere in China. So I'm a little bit, I'm not so positive for the future of Dali traditional dressing. But I'm glad to see still in a lot of countryside, especially senior lady, they dress very nice, like the old time, they keep the costume, the tradition very well. The more people wear it, it becomes a fashion. Once it becomes fashion, more young people will dress like this. So I'm looking for it.
I think in terms of the future of bi-minority dress, especially with the women, my sense is that 100 years from now there won't be any of that. There won't be any distinguishable bi-minority clothing or dress that's worn. The reason I say that is because the migration pattern of women, especially women, in the last 20 years has been one where people do leave the hometowns and they leave their tradition behind and they end up in big cities. Most of our elders have reported that their children are in Xiaguan or Kunming, or in some cases all the way out in some of the bigger cities.